Guys, it's Ollie here again, and I have another British plane to show you. Before I announce it, I just want to say thank you to my subscribers and 152 views on all my videos, which to me means a lot. So anyway, the plane that we will be doing is the Bristol Beau-fighter. I will be covering all the types of variants, which is a lot. And if you missed my last episode, it was a Spitfire Mark 1A. It's down in the description below, so hope you enjoy this video. So here it is, guys, the Bristol Beau-fighter. This is the Mark 5. And I will be doing this on the computer, and I have a bit of information just below. So yeah, hope you enjoy all the information. I hope you learn something. Alright, so I just want to go over quick stats. The role, it was a heavy fighter, an airstrike aircraft. Bristol Aeroplane Company was the manufacturer's first flight was 17th of July 1939, and it was introduced to the war in 27th of July 1940. It was retired in 1960s in Australia, and the primary users was the Royal Air Force, Royal Canadian Air Force, Royal Australian Air Force. So it was produced May 1940 to 1946. The numbers were built with 5,926 of them were built. I'm guessing that was all the variants put together. And the developed from Bristol Beau-fighter. The Bristol Type 156 Beau-fighter, often referred to as simply the Beau, was a versatile multi-role aircraft developed during World War II by Bristol Aeroplane Company in the UK. It was originally conceived as a heavy fighter variant of the Bristol Beaufort bomber, the Beau-fighter. It is predominantly of Beaufort and fighter. In the service, the Beau-fighter was used intentionally as a night fighter and later mainly as a maritime strike ground attack role. It was also replaced by the Beaufort as a torpedo bomber. Okay, so there is 12 listed Beau-fighters that I have here. I'll just go through. The Beau-fighter Mark 1F was a two-seat night fire variant. The Beau-fighter Mark 1C, the C stood for Coastal Command variant. Many were modified to carry bombs. The Beau-fighter Mark 2F, however well the Beau-fighter performed, the short Stirling bomber programmed by the late 1941 had a highly priority of the Hercules engine, and the Rolls-Royce Merlin 20-powered Mark 2F night fighter was the result. The Beau-fighter Mark 3-4, the Mark III and the Mark IV were the Hercules and Merlin-powered Beau-fighters with a new, slimmer fuselage, carrying an armament of 6 cannons, 6 machine guns, which would be performance improvements. The necessary cost of making the changes to the production line led to the curtailing of the Marks. Beau-fighter Mark V, the Fives was a Polberton pole turret with 4 303-inch machine gun mounted a foot from the cockpit, supplanting one pair of cannons and the wing-mounted machine guns. Only 2 Merlin engine Mark V's were built. When tested by the A and AEE, was compatible of 302 miles per hour at 19,000 feet. Fighter Mark 6, the Hercules returned with the next major version in 1942. The Mark 6 was eventually built over 1,000 examples. Changes included with the dihedral tailplane. The Beau-fighter Mark 6C, Coastal Command version similar to the Mark 1C. The Beau-fighter Mark 1F, a night fighter equipped with AI Mark 8 radar. The Beau-fighter Mark 7 was a proposed Australian-built variant with the Hercules 26 engines not built. The Beau-fighter Mark 8 was proposed by the Australian-built variant of the Hercules Mark 18 engines not built. The Beau-fighter Mark 9 proposed by the Australian variant of the Hercules Mark 18 engines not built. So those last 3 engines, they are proposed by the Australians. Unfortunately, they weren't built, so that, yeah. I forgot to mark some others. The Beau-fighter TF Mark 10 was a 2-seater torpedo fighter aircraft dubbed with the Torbu Hercules Mark 18 engines with crop supercharged, thus improving lower altitude performance. The last major version, there were 2,231 built, was the Mark 10. The later production models featured a dorsal fin. The Beau-fighter Mark 11C was a coastal version of the Mark 10, but no torpedo gear. The Beau-fighter Mark 12 proposed long-range variants of the Mark 11 with drop tanks, but they weren't built. The Beau-fighter Mark 21, the Australian-made, the DAP Beau-fighter, changes included the Hercules C6 engines, 4 20mm cannons in the nose, 4 Browning .50 inch, which were 50 cals, in the wing, and the capacity to carry 8-inch 130mm high-velocity aircraft rockets, 2 250-pound kilos, which was 150 kilos of bombs, 2 50-pound bombs, and 1 Mark 13 torpedo. The Beau-fighter TT Mark 10. After the war, many RAF fighters were convinced into targeting tug aircraft. The Beau-fighter Australian experimental class were twin Merlin engines with 40mm Bofors gun fitted. As you can see here, the operators were the Australians, the Canadians, the Dominican Republic, Israel, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, Portugal, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, and the United States. So here's just some characteristics of the Beau-fighter Mark 10 TF. I'm just targeting this one because this is the information I have. There were 2 pilots and 1 observer. The length was 41 feet and 4 inches. The wingspan was 57 feet and 10 inches. The height, 15 feet 10 inches. The wing area was 503 feet squared. Empty, it was 7,072 kilos. And when it was maxed, it was 11,521 kilos. The power plants were 2 Bristol Hercules 14-cylinder radial engine with 1,600 horsepower each. The performance, the maximum speed was 320 miles per hour. The range was 1,750 miles. Service ceiling was 19,000 feet, and the rate of climb was 1,600 feet per minute, which is pretty good. The guns, they had 4 20mm Spino Mark II cannons with 240 rounds in the nose, 1 manually operated 303 7.7mm Browning for the observer, which is the tail gunner. Tail damage, it could carry 2 250-pound bombs or 1 British 18-inch torpedo or a Mark 13 or 8 RP3 60-pound rockets in the underwings. Just to get a feel for it, other countries have these planes, well, not these planes, but same roles. The Douglas A-20 Havoc, which was American. The Douglas A-26 Invader, which was also American. The de Havilland Mosquito, which was British. The Northrop's P-63 Black Widow, which was American. The P-3 Russian. The Henkel HE-219 German. The Kawasaki Ki-45, which is Japanese, and the 27 Kong, which was British. Guys, thank you very much. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. I'm sorry if this is not your thing. This is just my passion. I love World War II planes. I love playing War Thunder. Anything based around World War II planes. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more content.